Today we're taking a look at section 13.2 on consumer credit. Consumer credit refers to borrowing money to finance the purchase of goods. In this section we will look at installment loans and revolving loans. An installment loan is typically used for a large item purchase. Suppose you decide to buy a new car that is priced at $16,470. You have $5,000 for a down payment and have to finance the rest at 2% add-on interest for 3 years. We'll use this problem as an example as we go over the vocabulary associated with it, and we'll be actually using this problem in several different ways. Okay, now suppose we recognize that we have only $5,000 to place down on the car, so the amount financed will be $16,470 minus the $5,000, and I'm excluding fees and tags and so forth. We're just looking at a situation where you would be purchasing the car, and perhaps you can think of the $16,470 as the total you will need, including taxes, etc. Okay, so that means that we need to finance $11,470. Now, the formula for the amount to be repaid is P times the quantity 1 plus RT. And what that amounts to is P, which is the principal that, notice if we were to distribute this, we'd get P plus PRT. So that's basically the principal plus the interest that you owe on that particular loan. We're going to substitute it in the form that I have the equation written in, the formula. That's the way it's listed in the book, but you could use P plus PRT if you wanted to. So the amount to be repaid is the $11,470 being borrowed times the quantity 1 plus 2%. Remember, we want to express as a decimal. That'll be 0.02, and our time is 3 years. We're borrowing this over a period of 3 years. And if we multiply 11,470, notice you do want to use parentheses on the calculator, times parentheses 1 plus 0.02 times 3, and then close the parentheses and then hit enter. We end up with $12,158.20 is the amount that will have to be repaid. That includes both repaying the principal and the interest that you're paying in order to use that money. Now, we want to figure out a monthly payment, so we're going to take the $12,158.20, and the way we get 36 is 12 times 3, 12 months a year times 3 years would be 36 months, and you can see the payment will be approximately $377.73. There might be some adjustment in that final payment. So the total purchase price of the car will be the down payment plus the loan repayment, which is a down payment of $5,000 plus a loan repayment of $12,158.20. So we're coming out with $17,158.20 for the total purchase price of the car. So typically, as I said, these installment purchases are typically for large items such as a car. So that's an installment loan, Now, most people these days do have credit cards, although more and more people are cutting them up. And this leads us to the second type of loan that you can take when you're buying smaller ticket items. These are revolving loans that we typically put on a credit card. These credit cards may be for department store accounts, or it may be through a bank. There are any number of credit cards out there. What they typically do is they send a monthly itemized statement indicating the list of most recent purchases, any finance charges that have accrued, and then the minimum payment for the month. Most interest on revolving credit cards is calculated using the average daily balance method. And so that's the method we're going to look at in terms of calculating how these payments are done. And we're going to use problem number 32 on page 705. Grab my book here. To show you how this actually works. And let me get to 705. Now you may wonder why I typed this out. My pen, I lost my pen that goes with my computer, and my new one has not arrived yet. I have ordered 2 new ones, so I typed everything out, and that's the reason we're going through this way. And because of that, I will not be doing any sample problems. Maybe by the weekend I'll have the new pen and I can do a couple more sample problems. But this will serve as a sample problem as well as the lecture. Because basically this section is mostly working with formulas and then identifying the different parts vocabulary-wise as to what is what. So we're using number 32, which is on page 705. It says, for each credit card account, assume 1 month between billing dates with the appropriate number of days and interest of 1.3% per month on the average daily balance. Find A, the average daily balance, B, the monthly finance charge, and C, the account balance for the next billing. So we have 3 things we're to find. Interest is 1.3%. So here's what I just copied over what was given to us from number 32. The previous balance on the last bill was $514.79. The billing date was January 27th. Okay, so that was the first thing. Then we have a purchase of candy on February 9th, 1108. Returns made on February 13th, valued at $26.54. A payment on the purchases of $59 made on February 20th, and February 25th we have a charge for repairs of $71.19. So the first thing you want to do for the average daily balance method is you want to make a table like I have done here. You need to indicate the date, the number of days, the balance, and then the days times the balance. So the balance starts out at $514.79, and the way we count, we want to count the number of days from January 27th until February 9th. So there are 4 more days in January to get to the 31st, plus 9 days in February, so that's a total of 13 days. So we're counting the days between January 27th and February 9th. That balance remains at that figure for those 13 days. We multiply, we get 6692.27. All right, our next date goes from February 9th to the 14th. That's a difference of 4 days. And notice we had a purchase of $11.08 for candy. So we want to add $11.08 to $514.97. That gives us $525.87. We multiply 4 times the $525.87. We get $2103.48. Okay, and then our next change is going from the 13th of February to the 20th, so that's a difference of 7 days. And what happens? We have a return of $26.54, so we subtract that from the $525.87, and that's $499.33. Then we multiply 7 times that, we get $34.95.31. Okay, now next from the 20th to the 25th, the balance stays the same for 5 days. And at that point, a payment has been submitted So we subtract the payment from $499.33, that gives us $440.33. Multiply 5 times that, we get $2201.65. All right, from February 25th to February 27th, and we want to choose the 27th because that's the billing date. We have 2 days. So at that point, on the 25th, there is a charge of $71.19. We have to add that to the $440.33. We get a $511.52. 2 times that is $1,023.04. We add up all the numbers in the days time balance column. We add up the days, and then we divide the days times balance sum by the number of days in the month, and we get an average daily balance of $500.51. The interest is charged on that. So we take $500.51 times 1.3%. Notice we want to use a decimal form for that, 0.013. So that's $6.51. So the new balance is going to be this last balance we had here, which is the $511.52, plus that interest, which gives us a new bill of $518.03. So those are the 3 parts down there at the bottom for that particular problem. Okay, and it takes a little practice to get so that you can list these correctly, but it's really not too hard. The main thing to remember, returns you're going to be subtracting, payments you'll be subtracting, but when anything is charged, you want to add that to the balance. So that takes care of that. So like I said, I'm not working any more examples because I don't have a pen that's working right now. I hope to get one, if I do get one early enough in the week that I can do a couple more problems, I will. But this pretty much covers everything that you find in the exercises. They do break these types of problems down into, we did the whole thing in one problem. They do it piece by piece in some of the exercises. So you should be ready at this point to go ahead and work on the 13.2 exercises.